Alright Instagram, you're gonna have to explain this to me like I'm a 3-year-old. Why do I see people posting obscure passages from the Bible, and in the very same thread I see them posting videos of themselves twerking in dirty gym shorts? Now I'm certainly no choir boy, but I'm pretty sure JC was not a fan of the booty shaking. That makes about as much sense as Scarlett Johansson playing a Japanese intelligence officer in Public Security Section 9. What's up everybody, and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. Now, you can say a lot of things about this show, but at least we're consistent and, not completely catshit crazy. Okay, so let's get this out of the way right now. I know the live-action adaptation of Ghost in the Shell from the original manga and the anime was a bit of a train wreck, and I can totally see why. Most of it had to do with the backlash of what they call the whitewashing, and you know what, it kind of makes sense. I mean, listen, Scarlett Johansson playing a Japanese intelligence officer, come on, that's a bit of a stretch. And look, I'll be the first to admit that visually, some of the scenes in the movie were absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, the overall film lacked the depth and complexity of the original anime, and true to its namesake, it felt very hollow and merely a shell of itself. Very similar to people filming themselves twerking. Now, say what you will about the film, but I did like the art style, and I especially like the design of the Major overall. So today we're going to be reviewing ThreeZero's version of the Major from Ghost in the Shell. Let's take a closer look. Now, here's something that's very interesting and something I don't think I've ever mentioned in an actual 1/6 scale figure. But this doesn't look exactly like Scarlett Johansson, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Actually, this looks more representative of what you see in the anime, and it looks really freaking cool, guys. I actually like it, and this character actually looks a little bit more Japanese than what we see in the film. There is some really great detail there. I especially love the eyes, and the hair sculpt is done very well. Countenance in the face is great. I especially love the lipstick. Looks pretty cool. Now, here's something that impressed me almost immediately. It's the quality of the fabrics that were used. Now, this is actually removable. When you get it in the package, it's in its own separate place in the tray. But I absolutely love it. First of all, it is, again, very high quality. It uses Velcro to actually put it on. You do have to remove the head, but just take a look at the craftsmanship there, guys. And here's the thing, it actually feels very dense, like actual Kevlar. It's really cool, and, I know it's a 1/6 scale, but you see how it could stop a bullet. The lower section of this piece is equally impressive. I absolutely love that cod piece. Fortunately, it's modularized, so there's a nice separation between the upper and lower armor, and it looks really cool. I also have to mention the color palette. I'm really digging the variations in that muted olive and drab. It looks really cool. Now, one of the other aspects of this piece that impressed me immediately was the armor in her legs, particularly the shin guards as well as the knee guards. There is an excellent wash on them, and I have to say, the shading here is spectacular. They look worn and battle damaged. Most importantly, I know that it's plastic, but because of the paint job, it looks like it's a type of alloy, and it's really cool, guys. Also, because these two armor sets are modularized, it adds for a little more flexibility when doing epic poses. The feet are also done very well. I like the grime and the grit. Most importantly, they're on this really flexible ball joint, so it makes them a little bit more malleable, and you kind of need it because no stand, guys. Now, it's not too intricate, but this definitely is a piece that you want to mirror because there is a lot of detail on the reverse side. I definitely love the head sculpt, it looks really cool, but the actual jacket that she's wearing, the Kevlar vest, has a lot of detail, and you don't want to deny yourself that. It looks really cool. Now, unfortunately, this figure is not endowed with some of Scarlett Johansson's assets, but whatever, you know what I mean, it's supposed to be the Major. But overall, the detail on the reverse side is really cool, so definitely mirror it, guys. Now, you guys know the Major, and she's always packing some high-tech heat. Here, it's actually pretty cool. She gets several weapons. The first one is the 9mm, which has a lot of detail on it. I love the wash, and it does look like metal, which is really cool. Then you also get this really nice and incredibly detailed submachine gun, which is awesome, guys. I had to pose it with both of them, do the kind of akimbo style. It looks really cool. Now, in addition to those two weapons, you also get the main rifle, which is really futuristic looking. I absolutely love the art and style of this thing. Also, you get an additional 2 magazines to kind of pose her reloading, which is pretty cool. And finally, rounding out the last bit of accessories are 6 additional hands for various poses. Now, I do have to warn you, while the lower section of this piece is pretty malleable and you can do a lot of poses, the upper part, where the arms are not as flexible because of the actual uniform that she's using, so just be very careful because there are some tolerances with the strains here and you don't want to break this piece. Now, I can't quite give my Holy Grail seal of approval, and I might actually regret that. I might have to do this video over again, because there is so much to love about this piece, and if you're a fan of Scarlett Johansson or the live-action version of Ghost in the Shell, then you definitely need to pick this up. And just because it's not a Holy Grail piece doesn't mean that it's not becoming popular, and I'm seeing it sell out more and more. So guys, if you want it, now's the time to jump on it. Now before I go, I just want to thank F&B Collectibles Incorporated for sponsoring today's video. I also want to thank the folks over at Big Bad Toy Store for sending this wonderful piece over for review. And if you're interested in this and other collectibles, please visit www.bigbadtoystore.com. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on ThreeZero's version of the Major from Ghost in the Shell. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.